Today will be my second time hearing REN. My first time was Hi REN. That was quite something, very powerful message and song in general, absolutely crazy at times. So for our second time hearing him, we will be listening to Sick Boy. This was released on YouTube just 1 month after Hi REN was, so I guess it was the next song he released. I received a lot of suggestions of what REN video to do next in the comments on Hi REN, so thank you to everyone who left a comment or a suggestion there. I've chosen this one because from a timeline perspective, it came out just after Hi REN, but also it's a shorter one. It's 3 minutes long. Hi REN was nearly 10 minutes. Some of the others you suggested are long as well, so I figured this could be quite good for alternating the length of the videos we do. Sick Boy, quite a foreboding name. Let's get straight into it.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for seeing me.
Looking at your file here, it seems there's a very apparent interplay with your emotional state and your physical body. Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic downstream effect on our biology. Essentially, your mind is making you sick.
Okay, a couple of things here. Also, was that the pig man from Hi REN? Hey, a couple of things. No, you know what? Actually, I don't normally do this, but let's continue a bit. I want to hear more because I've got a theory.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy, looking for that fix boy. And
sick boy, bitten by a tick boy, Lyme disease. Well, this is intense. It seems quite intense. I remember with Hi REN, and it started with the video and then the guitar, and then when he started singing, everything was just not what one might expect from a song. And it's really the same case here, isn't it? I mean, this opening. And in the closed captions, distressed vocalizations. Everything's so rhythmic. Why I kind of paused and then carried on. Initially, so I wanted to say two things. I'll start with one of them, and that's what made me continue playing, because I wanted to hear some more. And my mind is kind of all over the place because of what's going on in the video and these flashing images coming in of REN having his neck slit and the pig man, and yeah, I don't know, it's all a bit overwhelming. But I recognize this choir sound. I have no idea where from. I'm like 95% sure I know it, or I've heard it before at least. A video game? A film? A TV show? I have no idea, but it's one of those sounds that you hear and you remember, at least I do anyway. Sometimes music just sticks with you when you hear it once or twice. Sorry, I've just been sat here for about 20 seconds trying to... I might cheat. I might Google it. I've found it. Yes, Bulgarian choir. I knew I recognized it. You might be thinking, Sir Hairless, why on earth do you recognize some strange Bulgarian choir? I have my reasons. Maybe I am in some way related to that. Anyway, it's just such an interesting sound to use in this. Especially with this, like just the manicness going on in the background. This is really starting to remind me of one of the earlier videos I did a couple of years ago now. And it was a similar thing where a modern track with kind of darker beats had sampled a choir song. This is the modern track. And the choir bit that it sampled. And this fusion of sort of quasi-classical with then modern, more darker or grungy type of sound is really interesting. This is the original sound for that one. Which, as you can see on the screen, is from a film called Les Choristes, a really nice French film. I'd recommend watching it. And in my reaction to that, the heavier one, I had the same sort of reaction. Oh, I recognize that. Where from? It's just really interesting when you get modern artists like REN taking, reshaping older music or more obscure music and making it so much more accessible to other people. So that's that. Very cool though, isn't it? Taking A Bulgarian choir sampling it, transforming it, manipulating it to create such an eerie sound. Or maybe an eerily beautiful but haunting sound is a better way to put it. The second thing I wanted to say, and I might get a little bit deep here, so I apologize, I'll try and keep it brief. Something I never thought I'd talk about publicly, but what the heck, we're here now, right? So here.
Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
And the fact it's speech, not really rap, is it? It's just regular speech. On top of music. One, it just makes it interesting.
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious,
This negative feedback loop, as she says in the video,
essentially, your mind is making you sick.
your mind is making you sick. We get it repeated everywhere through our headphones. This song is about Ren and his struggles. And ultimately, I think the song is to raise awareness about his struggles. And many of us go through similar struggles. They might be to a lesser extent, sure, but our own struggles are the toughest battles that we have to fight. I don't want to make this about me. It's about Ren. So like I said, I'll keep it brief. But I'm currently battling insomnia. I never really had it, kind of recently, maybe once or twice a month. But now is every day or every other day. I was meant to film this video 2 days ago, but I was basically on no sleep and it's taken me 2 days to recover. And it really deteriorates the mental health. I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I'll be there mentally, I'll be sane enough to continue making videos. Now, I hope that never happens, of course, but our minds can really be our own worst enemy. They can really think awful things and send you in this downward spiral of no hope. And the hardest part is knowing that other people don't go through your struggles, which makes you feel a little bit more helpless or hopeless. So if you are going through something and you're watching this, we're not alone. We'll get through it. And Ren's music like this, in a really weird sort of way, I think can maybe offer some sort of hope, can make people going through something feel seen or acknowledged. Maybe I'm going way off track here, but that's how I see it, and maybe it's an interesting discussion to be had. All right, sorry about that. Let's carry on with the song. I want to see how it progresses. Will the choir remain the sample? Does the song change up a lot? Because harmonically, there's not that much happening so far. So what does that do? It directs our attention to the other things, the rhythm, the lyrics. And then later on, maybe we can dive into the music a bit more. By the way, there is a very short behind the scenes video, Ren Sick Boy. It's just over a minute long. So after this reaction, I will also be reacting to that. Like I always do, that will be linked below. You can find that on Patreon. Over there, you'll also be able to find our much longer behind the scenes high Ren reaction too, if you're interested.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy. Looking for that fix boy, anabolic steroids. Damn so, poster boy, pass out. White noise, quick fix, snake oil. I'm about to break boy. Oh, what a shame, he's in pain. Have another go, take another pill. Here, take a couple more. Let's see how you're doing in another week or so. You'll be feeling worse when the side effects will show. Derealization, medical patient, losing patience with the process. Walking hand in hand with Satan. Complications with the medication. Inflammation, dehydration, inhalation, aggravation. Building up a toleration. Drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown. I've been feeling like I'm drowning with my feet upon the ground. I've been screaming, I've been shouting, but I never make a sound. I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. What I propose we do is we try to pinpoint the exact experiences from the past that are keeping you stuck. What can you tell me about your childhood?
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. We're given everything we need and we come.
Okay, I'm going to pause. I am aware now that Ren is pro-reaction, so I don't need to pause for copyright reasons. Thank you, Ren. But I do this with everyone else. It's how I do my videos. It gives me time to think, discuss what we've just heard, so I don't forget everything, try and recap at the end. If you don't like this style, I'm sorry, it's just how I do it. Well, this song is quite unlike music I normally listen to. It's got a lot of extremes in it. Somehow, when put together, it's almost hypnotic. I don't know if you'd agree or massively disagree with me there. Just rhythmically, the intensity of it, the flow of it.
Patience with the process, walking hand in hand with Satan. Complications with the medication, inflammation, dehydration.
You can lock into any layer and it's just really catchy. You want to just go along with it. Talking about intensity, let's just go back to the beginning and dig into the music a little bit. The introduction of a song is so important. People choose to do their intros differently. Do they start with something different to the song or the same? Here though, I think REN is basically showing us immediately that things are going to be quite intense. I mentioned earlier the harmony doesn't really do much, which in turn makes us focus more on what else there is, where all the other really interesting things lie in the lyrics themselves or the rhythms. Having a restricted harmony naturally limits the song and the kind of directions it can take. What we do get, this note, just repeated. Why B? That's just the key we're in. B minor. So that's the home key. Don't worry about the name B or E or whatever. That's just the key he's chosen to do it in. Aside from B,
feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic.
we get these very rapid chords, which I guess would be kind of something like, and then back. Slightly different. There are many alternations within them, but we can kind of think of it like just 3 chords. I'm someone who believes that when it comes to music, the harmony is the core of everything, the real foundation, and having just 3 chords, which is pretty limited anyway, and each time we get them, the frequency is changed, the rhythms are changed, maybe a note is changed here or there. To me, this screams instability and uncertainty. We cannot predict what's going to happen. It's really keeping us on the edge of our seats. That's even more impressive because of the limited 3 chords. If we had 8 chords or 10 chords, then obviously, you know, there's much more of a pool to choose from.
Your mind is making
Everything musical we had before, the beat, the chords, the bass, it's all gone. It's removed. Now what are we left with? This eerie choir. We can hear the words making you sick going. Visually, too, like canonically in terms of the timeline, this follows on from High Ren. We can see it's the same room, but everything else is removed too. Or maybe it just looks that way. We have a sink instead of like a desk and a light. But the lighting just makes everything so much darker and more gloomy. Then later on, when we're building up to the breathe in, breathe out bit.
What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out.
We get 2 repeated chords. 1 chord for in, 1 chord for out. In, out. So this is 1 new chord now introduced, but still very much part of the limited harmony that we're hearing. Also, the fact that it's laid on top of the Bulgarian choir sample that we're still hearing.
In and out.
The sample, of course, has been sped up and modulated to be in the correct key, but it's just so well done. It works so well. I'd love to know how he came across this sound and decided to use it. I believe some Bulgarian choir music has been sent into space, along with the likes of Bach, to show how civilized we are as a world of music in case aliens stumble across it. Anyway, we'll carry on in just a moment. I do understand that you might be wondering, Sir Hairless, why do you care so much about harmony, especially in a song like this, where clearly the focus is the lyrics, the message of the song? And you would be right. But like I said in my High Ren reaction, a story or a poem without music is just a story or a poem. But a story or a poem with music becomes a song. There's a difference between them. So the music has to enhance the message or complement it to make it more powerful. Let's take the drown bit. What was it? Drown Sucker? Quite a dark part, very dark lyrics.
Drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown. I've been feeling.
So just that little bit there, it really stuck with me. That's one part I remember. It's obviously the words, but what's happening in the music behind it? We get vocal harmony, but it's not a beautiful harmony like we get in the Bulgarian choir. This harmony here that Ren is doing with himself,
Drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown.
it's entirely dissonant. And this is something that I can see Ren is very skilled at only after hearing him twice, fusing musicality with non-musicality. It's difficult to explain what I mean there. Sometimes I kind of just make up my own terms, but this is what I call speak singing. Not purely singing and also not purely speaking.
Drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown, sucker, drown.
It's like rap, but it has a pitch to it. There's a melody to it. Eminem is probably the most famous example of someone who does this a lot. So his lower line on Drown Sucker and the upper line, play them together, sounds fine, you know? But then when you add in the harmony underneath, which is this B minor, and then the Bulgarian choir has this chromatic inflection as well, when you piece them all together, it sounds something like... That's a dissonance. Dissonance in music causes tension. It makes us go, ugh, just that little bit more. And there are numerous cases of this in the song, way more than I would have noticed. That was just one good example to demonstrate. Let's carry on with the song and finish it off. If you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting me. You can buy me a coffee or hot chocolate, join our Patreon for loads of additional content that's not available on YouTube, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. All options are linked below, and a special thanks to everyone on the screen. Back to the video.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. We're given everything we need and we commoditize it. We consume, we destroy like we're parasitic. Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are sick. We are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for a fix, boy. Push it down in public, quick pose for the pic, boy. Record label meetings that commodify your gift, boy. Why you so upset? Don't you wanna be a rich boy? Fuck no, industry is cutthroat. I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we do what we're told. Counterintelligence, a sight to behold. Rape the earth of all resources and we bleed it for gold. And we bleed it for wealth, we bleed it for fame. But when you bleed it, can you tell me what the fuck will remain? And I bleed in myself, I bleed in my brain. While I'm bleeding, I'm the reason, cause I'm doing the same.
Sick boy, looking for a fix, boy. I mean, firstly, just intense. I think that will be the word of the day. I'm sure many of us will have thought of that word when hearing this for the first time. Really quite catchy though, and it's a dark song, it is. And this is a song that I'm not sure I would be able to listen to enough, because especially if I'm feeling a bit more emotionally unstable or vulnerable, maybe it has the power to send me to a darker place. I don't know. Different types of music serve different purposes. You're not going to find a song like this in a toddler's TV animated show, right? That's meant to make them feel all happy about sunshine. No, the purpose of this, I mean, it could have a million purposes, but one of them is to have an impact on us. And I think it does just that. The intensity is ramping up in the whole song. I think the fact that we have the Bulgarian choir in there the whole time adds to this, because we start to become a bit comfortable with the sound of the Bulgarian choir that, like I said earlier, has been sped up, modulated up, so it sounds a little bit eerie, but we're becoming used to it. But then what do we get on top?
Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are sick. We are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice.
The visuals on top of the music, things, I don't know, my heart rate is increasing. A lot of these lyrics could be taken literally or metaphorically, I guess.
I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke.
And that's pretty much the only proper singing. It still sort of speaks singing, but it's much more towards the singing side of things. Just like in High Ren, the bit where he starts singing.
So coward the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs.
I loved that moment. I listened to that section so many times on repeat. I really, really like his singing voice. So here we get just a little snippet of it.
The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke.
Based on this tiny extract alone, I still stand by what I said in High Ren, where I imagine his voice is much more suited to a more modern type of music. I got loads of comments from people saying he's so versatile, you're going to have to discover more. So yeah, I'm sure I will. This is just going by what I've seen so far, which is High Ren and Sick Boy. Two extremely powerful songs, quite shocking, but I'm sure that's the point. Just these two alone, nearly 100 million combined views between them. Could be a very exciting Ren journey ahead, even if it is a bit intense. I'm all for it. Now let's go and look at the High Ren Sick Boy behind the scenes short video. If you want to watch that with me, along with the High Ren behind the scenes video, then head on over to the link in the pinned comment. If not, well, thank you as always for watching. Let me know if you want to see more Ren. Smash the like button. Comment down below the Ren songs you'd like to see me do in the future. If you don't want to do any comments, we'll go with an emoji. I'm struggling to think of one. I've never done this, so let's just go with whatever emoji you think suits it best. I'll be interested to see the range of emojis we get. Looking forward to that. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one.